2 minutes ago.
John's not here.
Right, is John on the call yet?
Or do you want to open the meeting?
He's the vice president.
Yes, that's
He's gonna
right.
run,
Yeah.
he's gonna run the
All
show.
right.
There's John, I think.
We have John.
He's remote.
Yes.
Okay,
I was gonna say I forgot about that.
Hey, John.
not a huge deal, I don't think.
That's cool.
Yes.
Okay. That's for the public hearing. Thank you.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, I need that.
Thank you, sir.
Can I get a copy of that?
I just wanted, I was looking for it, and I just wanted to make sure I got
Do we have John?
Yes.
Hi, John. We're just doing the public hearing. Oh, do you want to present? Is that,
Okay, I didn't know if you need to open it up or not, or.
Yeah, you do. And
all right, do we need to,
what, John?
okay, well, we're just doing the public hearing, not the town meeting at the moment, but I think, so,
Okay.
do we want to
Okay.
just
Don't need to
start
do
all
the
of it
pledge
again?
and all that.
Right, so, it is 5:51, we have a public hearing from Commonwealth as well, but we'll go ahead and just open all that up and then continue on with the meeting from there. So, if you'll join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And then move to roll call quickly. We have the town clerk, Cheryl, Mike Spinks, Evan McCall, myself. John Stantz is with us on the phone, and Hunter and Richard are with us as well. So, first order of business, if you have your presentation.
Yes.
Okay.
Green
Oh.
light's good, yeah.
And then
You're good.
All right. Thank you. I'm Drew Fleming with Commonwealth Engineers, and tonight we're presenting for the rural development application. So I have to read this piece of paperwork first that's required by RD, and then I can go into some project details. So the town of Spencer, Indiana is filing an application for a wastewater infrastructure improvement project with USDA Rural Development. The purpose of this application is to seek financial assistance in the form of a grant and low-interest loan for the town's Spencer Wastewater Infrastructure Improvements Project. Copies of the USDA Rural Development application will be on file at the Spencer Town Hall for review, which I've been back there at the back desk here for approximately a week. So with that, I'll go ahead and just give a quick overview here of the proposed project. Project is a capacity upgrade project for the wastewater treatment plant. It does also include some collection system components. So the wastewater treatment plant capacity upgrade will be from an average daily flow of 0.7 million gallons per day to 1.06 million gallons per day. I think I told you 25%, I lied, to 150% increase of average daily flow for a little bit more. And then also a peak daily flow of 2 million gallons per day to 2.72 million gallons per day. It does not include the peak instantaneous flow rate increase. So with that, there will be a new SBR tank. The existing digester will be converted to the fourth SBR. With that, it'll be new blowers, VFDs. They'll be on dissolved oxygen DO control. And hydrants installed around the tanks for maintenance. There'll be a backup PLC that will be installed in case we get lightning strikes. The equipment, that way you can quickly flip-flop the PLC into and then have no downtime. There'll also be some rehabilitation on the SBR tanks. There will be a new UV disinfection system installed within the existing chlorine contact tank. There will also be a brand new effluent lift station that will be installed just south of the existing chlorine contact tank that will allow the plant to discharge during flood events, as we just recently witnessed during large White River backwater events. The plant is unable to discharge appropriately. There will also be a new flap gate at the existing outfall. As far as collection system improvements, includes Hart Street Lift Station, replacing the wet well and valve vault, new pumps, controls, and also a new force main. The anticipated total project cost is pull it up here. $12,982,055. Are there any questions associated with the project from,
Can you repeat the total cost again?
sorry, $12,982,055. We can open it up to town council, public, for any questions,
Do you have a
comments.
calendar schedule for it yet, or proposed?
Yes, we do. Right now, it all depends on the funding mechanism.
Right.
Obviously, the town is seeking grant opportunities for such a large project. But right now, we are currently under design, the preliminary design phases. And based on the schedule here, we have filed the RD application. Is it 100% clear? We still gotta do the flood. One item yet, okay. So it's almost done. It's 99% complete. So we're looking to apply, based on our current schedule, to apply for IDEM construction permits in the fall of 2026. And receive construction bids, again, pending financing here, potentially around December 2026. So we're still a year out.
About a year out.
Yes, yes. That's with RD, this is rural
Things
development
fall
only.
away, yeah.
Um,
But as other grants come into it, you reduce the amount you're going.
Yes, separately, the town is seeking other grant opportunities, which is different from this schedule. So if those opportunities open up, that would ramp up the schedule to a quicker timeline. So then we would, with RD then, the actual project would be in operation by June 2028. So it's a very large project and takes a substantial work and effort to get it complete.
It's a lot of water under the bridge, isn't it?
It is.
June 2028, yeah.
Any other questions, comments?
About 13 million.
Yep.
2 years to complete, or 3 years to complete.
Yep, yep. Construction's probably around 14 months total.
Yeah.
A lot of these items, equipment, take several months to procure.
You think the tariffs will affect the prices?
We don't know. I mean, one day tariffs are on, the next day tariffs are off.
Yeah.
There was, previously when there's tariffs on Canada, it did affect some equipment rather quickly. Some of the equipment doubled overnight, but I mean, we can't speculate. We're just going by consistent construction dollar amounts at this point in time.
gonna be a lot of construction
Yes,
with the other tank,
yes,
modifying the others.
yeah, absolutely.
The pumps are all same pumps and everything that we're using now.
For Hart Street Lift Station, the pumps, everything will be brand new. They're 25 plus years old. A lot of the SBR conversion is gonna be all brand new equipment as well. The current SBR tank equipment with this proposed plan is staying as it is. There'll be some separate evaluations gonna take place later on in light of the current circumstances.
Are they in our schedule here, asset management schedule?
Yes,
Pumps
yes,
replacing that?
yep.
That's good.
Well, not hearing anything else beyond that, we'll move into the regular portion of the meeting.
We'll close this.
Close
public
this
hearing
meeting, okay.
If there's no other comments.
Yes.
Make a motion to close this, hearing no other comments or questions.
I second it.
Okay, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
John's down for something.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you. Now we'll officially open the town meeting. We've already done the pledge roll call. Do we need to technically do that again?
No,
Okay.
usually we
We're
have
good.
that meeting first and then start our.
All right.
Then we clean it, but you gotta.
So let's do acceptance of minutes. Everyone looked at the minutes? John?
Yes.
Mike?
Yeah,
Okay. I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
I'll second it.
I'll second.
Okay.
Oh, John seconded it.
Oh, no, I think Mike had him beat. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Evan, show for the record that John is appearing by telephone.
I did at the beginning, but
Okay.
just if anyone is just now joining us, John Stantz is with us via phone. He's on a video call right here.
Remote.
So if you're hearing a voice coming out of nowhere, that's John. He can hear us, we can hear him.
It's me.
Okay, moving on then, we have first on the list with public issues, Tamara Bingham.
Hello, thank you very much for letting me come to speak to you. This is old news. If you recall, last year I had.
You have that fault now.
Hello,
Thank
can
you,
you
Drew.
hear me now? I am a thespian, and I didn't know the mic was off. Okay. A year ago, I approached and with the Lair Grant project, looking for a match. Initially, I had approached you about $90,000. I left you a letter. I don't know if I need to read this or not, because you should be familiar with the scenario. But I was able to get that down to where my match is now only $20,000. The county council has already committed $5,000, which I have. I just received a foundation grant for $5,000, which I have. Soil and Water is putting $5,000 towards this. The remaining match is $5,000. I'm really hoping that the town will be on board with this. This is something that will benefit both sides of the river. I believe that Evan, you had written, had walked my path, and you saw some of the areas that we're looking at to do the restoration of
Correct.
the riverbank. This is an ongoing project. It's going to take us. This portion is going to be construction's going to happen hopefully August, September. Best case scenario, 7 days. Worst case scenario, a month. The contractors are DNR certified, and they are experts at dealing with hiking paths and walking paths. My path will be preserved. If there is damage, it's already in the contract that it will be repaired. This will be a 7-year project because I have identified 7 other items. We can only do one spot a year, but if we can get this first one done, wow. And so I humbly come to you and ask if you will please help sponsor our match of $5,000.
Even though the match was reduced, the scope
Yeah.
of work remained the same.
Exactly. Actually what happened, the reason why it reduced quite a bit is when it was first designed by engineers with Purdue, they had put down certain pillars and all, and the engineers are DNR engineers. Everything, it was a little bit of an overkill. After COVID, this project has been going on for, since Andrea, Devin, Sean, and myself, directors, and we finally were able to get it done. COVID held it up. it was reevaluated and they realized that we did not have to do such extreme measures. And it was actually suggested by the construction company. And they're doing something that's familiar to Yellow River. If you want to look that up, and you can see what they've done. So that's the reason why it came down. It's still quality. It's just a different, more practical approach.
Okay. And we have appropriate funds that can go towards
Yes.
this.
Yes, we do. I think we talked about this before, would be the
Right.
riverboat funds, which
Okay.
makes sense.
Riverboat funds for riverboat.
Hey, there you go. Well, I will make a motion to approve this request for $5,000 to the Soil and Water Conservation District for erosion control
From
Okay.
riverboat funds.
from riverboat funds. Thank you.
I'll second it.
All right. Those in favor? Aye. That was everyone. All right.
Thank you so much.
you.
I really appreciate it. Hopefully I won't have to pester you
Well, we
anymore.
appreciate the work you
Yeah.
put in
Yes,
on it
absolutely.
and
Well, thank you.
all the things you did to get it to this point.
Thank you so much. And stop by the fair. That's where I'm going back. We do have a free movie that we're sponsoring next week, Tuesday, July 15th, 6:30 p.m. at the Tivoli. It's 90 minutes. Alone in the Wilderness, as seen on PBS. People my age, I'm 63, may remember this. A gentleman back in the 60s decided to live in Alaska in his 50s, and he lived there for over 30 years, and he built his cabin by himself and this and that. It's not silly reality TV. This is really amazing, so I hope you can come. I'll leave you alone now because I know you have a full house. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay. That'll take us down to board liaison. Hunter?
Yeah, it's not in my notes here.
Or, hang on. Did we have anything else from the public? Before we move into our department reports?
Or did you wanna do
But you're gonna bring up the subject that
the new
when
marshal?
I was here.
I thought maybe we'd do that during
I mean,
old or new business or the police.
Your turn now.
okay.
So, yeah. Well, welcome.
Hi, I'm just wanting some help cutting a tree down that, according to the boundary lines on my property, it's not really on my property. But everybody else keeps saying that it's mine. And I don't want it to fall on my neighbor's garage that he has there, cause he has a classic car in there.
Okay.
I don't wanna be responsible for that. But I don't have the money to cut it down. They want $5,400 to do it. And I don't have that kind of money.
I've been here, I talked to her before when the limb fell. I was there again this morning, but I guess she was at work. It's up to you, the town board. It's clearly, it's not our tree. I do have a photograph. She has a map here, but I have an actual photograph that I snapped this morning. It's well out of the alleyway. I don't mean anything bad or
Oh,
any,
no.
but I mean,
I know.
in my opinion, it's 100% her tree. With that being said, whatever you guys wanna do with it, it is a pretty gnarly job because there's a lot of power lines running all different directions through there.
Where is our right of way? I see the alley here, but where is our right of way?
It's right at the line. I mean,
Well, out on the streets, there's always a little shoulder out there between the sidewalk and the curb.
right, and anywhere that there's not, it's the homeowner's responsibility up to there. You can see, I don't know if you can see it, Nat, about where, I'd say about where these blocks are. If you're standing out here and you look up, you can get a little better feel of it, for it, but I didn't step back. If I would've stepped back a few more steps, you could've seen it better, but
Yeah.
I didn't do that. I'm not against helping her out. It's just, it's totally up to you guys because, in my opinion, it's not our tree.
Is that something that requires a tree person, or is that something that the street could work on? I mean, I know you guys take the trees.
I think that with the power lines running through there, I wouldn't feel comfortable sending our guys up in there. Now, maybe if the power company come and got what they could out of it,
They usually do that.
there's the main lines running through there, and then there's a drop to your house, and then a drop to Paul Thomas's house, that both run right through that
The
tree.
last couple storms pulled the power right out of his house twice. And then the last storm, a couple weeks ago, a tree limb fell on my back porch and damaged it.
Has the power company looked at it? What
They trimmed all of that in the alley part,
It's trimmed.
a
That
couple
was
weeks
taken
ago.
over the alley
That's usually
toward
what
their
they
line.
do.
Yeah.
So that's usually what they do, is remove what's in their way, so does that maybe do some,
Yeah, I mean, I was up there this morning, and they're
okay.
still,
okay.
We'd have to hire a contractor to do it, right?
safely, yes.
Can
May
you,
may I make a suggestion?
Please.
Okay. Can we table this until I get back and have, that way I can meet with Tony and the Duke Electric people down there on
That's
site?
probably a good idea.
See what the best approach would be to take care of this?
I think that's reasonable.
okay, I move we table it then.
He'll be
All right.
back sometime. Do you
I'll
want?
second.
Okay.
Hang on.
Get her contact information, you can call her when you get back, would that work?
Did you hear Cheryl?
Probably not.
She was asking if you would like the contact information for the homeowner.
Yes.
Okay, we'll get that to you.
Make him a copy of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll just get you a copy of this form.
That makes sense.
Because like I said, I'm not against helping
Right.
this lady out, it's just,
Yeah,
that's
great.
not for me to decide, because it's not our.
Duke might do it, you never
Yeah.
know.
I think we'll keep looking into some options and keep this.
John, tomorrow I will make copies of everything I have and have Cheryl put
Stick
it
it
in
in the
a,
mailbox.
in a mailbox for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, that'd be
Just
great.
to keep on top of this and all, I would want to have another circle round to talk with the power company again, even if you
Absolutely.
decide to contract the job, because you really need to let them know what you're gonna be doing when they're operating
Oh, yeah.
right in their power lines. And both neighbors are gonna have to sign appropriate waivers and releases to do that
Yeah, the top of that tree could very well fall right into the
easily,
power line.
easily.
We have that representative from
Okay.
Duke that likes to come out and help us.
Yeah, I think that sounds best.
Yeah.
Okay. We had a motion to table it. I'll second the motion. Those in
Aye.
favor? Aye.
John?
John, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. We are voting to table that.
Motion?
Okay.
Okay, yeah, that's all, yeah, aye.
All right, there we go.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Were there any other, we see, we've a full house tonight.
Public,
Public,
you're not on the agenda for it.
Okay.
So,
All right. We'll have Hunter's report and then we'll move into police department.
Just updating my notes here. Okay. Yes, so, SS4A grant was applied for, we're on hold for that. I finally reached out to Jack White, cause I just got impatient waiting for FEMA to
Okay.
respond. So, we have one decanter down due to the flood, and we're not allowed to repair it until FEMA comes in. But unfortunately, IDEM has requested that the governor submit a request to POTUS, and POTUS has yet to declare a federal emergency.
POTUS is what?
President of the United States.
Okay.
Yes.
We
So-
use a lot of acronyms and people don't understand. I'm one of them, don't understand.
No, no, that's, I understand, I should have clarified. But essentially, we will not know anything until he either declares the emergency or tells IDEM no.
And we have to
So,
stick
just
on
know
every
nothing.
3 hours, we'll flip the switch, is that right?
a long way of saying you know
The
nothing.
second, I have the second basin out of, I have it out of service right now, so we can operate with just the two.
Just the two, okay.
At what point do we get into a situation where we just need to move ahead, or even can we?
There shouldn't be one.
Okay, good.
We can technically leave it sit as long as we want. IDEM understands the situation, and we're not having any issues with it.
All right. This sounds like it might be a lengthy.
If a second
Downtime.
basin were to go down, which happened last week, that would cause an issue, but we've already rectified that.
Excellent.
This next thing kind of falls into wastewater, but it's I got an email on Saturday from Lori Fender talking about the odor in town.
Mm-hmm.
I told her what the issue kind of was, but I forwarded the email to Ryan, and Ryan explained a little further to me what exactly was happening. There's gas backup in the line.
Yes, essentially it's been very hot lately, and so that causes more activity, anaerobic activity in the sewer lines. As the water sits in the sewer and overnight, when nobody's using the facilities, it tends to sit more, and so you'll have a gas buildup and it'll start releasing through the manholes and lift stations, and it becomes really bad once you flush the system out. It gets the air moving, and then the smell peaks in the morning when everybody's waking up. So I have a plan to counteract that. I'm going to start dosing with hypochlorite oxidizer, so that will keep the activity down and hopefully keep the smell as well.
Okay.
Is that the odor remover?
That's not the odor remover. So it would be difficult if I use the odor remover, because the problem is with the gravity sewer, I could use the odor remover in lift stations and at the plant just fine, but with flow moving through the lines, if I put odor remover down there, it would
Well,
just flow through itself.
You know what you're doing because we're paying you to do that, so your method might be the best.
Being able to dose solid pellets of a small dosage,
Yeah.
specifically a solid hypochlorite, should allow it to dissolve slowly and keep that activity down.
Okay. Thank you.
And then I have just one more.
Okay.
I spoke with Marcy today. So the Lilly grant for the Chamber/Arts Commission
Mm-hmm.
project for Cooper Park as the revitalization project. Marcy met with the Lilly Foundation representatives last Tuesday. They're still dragging their feet on on awarding because they're waiting for all counties in Indiana to submit a project. So basically, we were the first project to submit, and they were really impressed with our project, but they're giving extra time for all these other counties to submit a project. And they're essentially saying that awards will be opened in fall of this year. So hopefully by, I'd say September or October, we'll probably know.
Well, give a general description of what this grant's gonna do for us.
Yes, so the overall project is to replace the playground equipment down there.
Okay.
They're going to reroute most of it. Actually, there's a map around here somewhere, but I'll find it.
It's a pretty extensive overhaul. It involves paving, depending on how much of it gets approved, some canoe access, pavilion,
amphitheater.
playground.
Yeah, so it's about a $1.9 million
All right,
project.
that's a big
She
deal.
did a presentation about a year ago. We've been working on this
And she
a
has
long
been
time.
coming in and saying,
Mhm.
she has no answer yet.
Yeah,
so
yeah, so
Nothing's really changed.
this was slightly more definite,
Yeah.
but not much more.
Yeah,
That's our project.
It's
just,
good,
just an update.
it's good to know we're still in the running, I
Update is
guess.
out is the same.
Yeah.
Or at least that
At least
the-
we have a date-ish for.
Yeah,
when
we were told mid-July, and now we're told fall, but
Yeah,
at least an answer. All right.
but that is all I have at this moment.
Okay, thank you. That moves us down to police department. Do we want to deal with the chief approval now? John, Mike? What was that, John?
I would think so.
Okay.
I would think so, yes.
All right, so we had 4 very good candidates. We've interviewed. They were all internal candidates. I think we have a real deep bench. We discussed a little bit, and then on our own, I think we've ranked them. Was that the system we decided to handle this? Have you ranked them the way we discussed? You know, like the resume, you know, number 1, and then kind of how you felt about that. That's what we discussed.
I've ranked them, but I didn't bring my ranking with me.
Okay, do you remember them? Okay. John, is that the system you're still wanting to do?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, do we just want to list how we rank them? It's kind of a little awkward. Do we?
It is a little awkward.
Yeah,
I
it's-
think maybe if
in a
someone
public
reviews
hearing
those,
especially.
You can say the results. Did someone review all 3 of them? All 3
I
of the
think
members?
we had 4,
Correct.
and they were all great candidates and everything, but I think the one that rose to the top, the first one, was Terry Sips, and they went down accordingly with,
Oh, we don't have to give the.
Yeah,
approval.
yeah. Okay.
Pudge, Rennick, and mine, so.
Okay.
I would think that our number 1, Terry Sips.
He's saying number 1 candidate Terry Sips. It was jarbled there from John. Okay. I didn't mean to talk over you, but I figured the audience couldn't hear. Okay.
That's okay, and I would make a motion to appoint him as our new chief of police.
Okay, so we have a motion on the table from John to appoint Terry Sips as the new chief of police. Do I hear a second?
I'll make a comment. That was my choice as well in
Okay.
evaluating all the resumes and going down. We had very strong candidates. I'm very impressed with them. But I think that's the direction I'd like to go as well.
Okay, so that's the second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor of appointing Terry Sips as the new Spencer Police Department chief? Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye?
Aye.
Okay,
Okay.
well, there we have that. Congratulations, Chief Sips. Ranix Pudge, excellent interviews. It was honestly a difficult decision. Great candidates all around. I appreciate the work you guys do out here, truly.
So now just the police report.
Yeah, and now the police report.
Is this on?
I believe so.
All right, I appreciate the confidence the town board has in me, and I appreciate, and I will do my best to fulfill the job as required. Council brief real quick. Personnel, we got 2 full-time going through the full FTO, of course. They're doing well and progressing quickly. They're picking everything up really quick. 2 good candidates there. The new reserves are progressing through the process as well, and they just completed their emergency vehicle operations, so hopefully soon we'll be bringing them in after a couple more things start doing their traffic stops and doing a little bit of time on the road and getting that stuff going. Equipment with vehicles, Commission number one has a possible AC issue. I knew that, or I found that out because I rode in it with one of the new guys, and it was pretty warm in there, so we'll get it into the maintenance this week. I'm just saying it may be an easy fix, maybe, so that's why I said it's a possible issue. Operations, as far as the fair, everything supposedly so far is going pretty good. We're only a day and a half deep into it. But I would like to get approval for possible overtime. I'm saying possible overtime, I can get the approval up ahead for the dates of July 10th, 11th, and 12th. Is that good? Am I calling that right? The rodeo, the quad races, and demolition derby on those, demolition derby, those nights. If we could get just an authorization for it, doesn't mean we're gonna use it, just an authorization. I'm looking at the hours between 6 PM and midnight.
They never ask, so it's,
If that's the case, would that work for the fair boards? Okay, awesome.
they usually.
Do we want to vote on that now before I know sometimes we get ahead of ourselves and then we forget to. So, I'll make the motion to approve overtime for the fair on the dates of 10, 11, 12 of July. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Mike beat you again? That delay's killing you. All those in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Alright. Okay, I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's fine, and then training is the other thing we got going as far as training right now is the FTO, as the field training officers, as mentioned above. One other thing I don't have on my brief though, due to the fact any of us that would have went, would have need to go to the chief of police training up at Indiana Law Enforcement Academy. I'll find out the particulars on
Find
that
out the dates, yeah.
and, let you all know that. That's all I have.
And you'll come to us with any requirements you have, you know, like office change or anything like that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
I'm supposedly your liaison, so let me
Yeah, I
know.
will let you know first.
You want a picture?
We can pause to do that if you like.
City Council.
All John up here.
Yeah, I don't want to keep people if they're wanting to get on the way.
Have John?
John,
Yeah.
we don't have a card.
John, can you show your face here? All right, there we go. Smile, John.
Oh, John.
You look great. I'm gonna do one upright.
Okay.
Thank you all.
We've gone totally digital now.
What a world.
Is that on the big screen or the little screen?
I mean, I could open it on there.
Anything else for the police department?
Okay. All right, that takes us to Tony with the street department.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, don't worry about the chairs. We'll get on that. Thank you, though. Oh, okay. Well,
Yes, get that.
I'll let you.
As he mentioned, the fair, you know, obviously this week we have Cooper's Park closed off, for vehicle traffic as well as all of our town lots in that area, just to keep cars out of it. I do want to go on the record and thank the ladies, from Crane Credit Union. They had a day of work session and they went
Right.
down, they provided the paint and they painted all of the picnic tables
Great.
in Cooper's Park, so, thanks to them.
Need to get that in the paper.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mentioned to them if they wanted, for their side, a photo or something with the town board, or
Did they take a photo?
they acted like they really didn't
Care?
care about the credit, they was just doing what they
Doing
did.
their
so.
civic duty.
Yep. The big storm, we haven't had a meeting since then. I did email everybody. I think you all got it, but I'm gonna just kinda go over the important parts here, for the sake of a meeting. We had in total, 54 and a half hours overtime, combined by all of my people. During that, basically that first, 5 days, 4 days. We found ourselves with more manpower than available equipment, so I would like to also thank Todd Gardner. He offered up the use of their backhoe, the water company's backhoe, and we utilized it so we could have 2 crews out. During the event, I spoke with Mr. Stantz about getting some outside help in, and he agreed to that. So we contracted Chip's Outdoor Service. He was very, very much a help. We used him a total of 19 hours. His total bill was $4,750 for that 19 hours. And if you want that broke down, it was $250 an hour. He provided himself, a worker, a skid steer, truck, a trailer, and saws.
Can't beat that. And I think, as a note, we should get him under an emergency clause so that we can bring him in
Yeah.
when we have a need for him.
And if we look back, we had something like that set up after the tornadoes with
Yeah.
Truax.
Yeah,
Then Truax kind of got out of the local type stuff.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we can mention that
What
to
was the
him.
total
And
again?
I'm sorry, the total was $4,750, and that was for 19
Should vote
hours.
to approve that.
Okay. I'll make a motion to a vote to approve the payment to Chips Outdoor Service
I'll second it.
of $4,750. We have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Better late than never, right?
So,
And then also, because of that, we've been talking about, over the past few years, about adding a second loader slash backhoe, something of that sort. Due to the price, I've kind of been dragging my feet, but that kind of made me open my eyes to think, hey, maybe I shouldn't drag so much. So I am getting some different quotes, some different options, new versus used, cat versus case, that sort of thing. Working on that, and I'll get something together
Okay.
pretty soon to present to you guys to kind of look over the options. And
Yeah, well, I think it, and we want to take your recommendation on it
well, we know.
to move forward.
We pretty much know what we want, now we're just trying to find the best
Yeah.
deal for the best price and
Okay,
that sort of thing, so. That was my storm. Along with the storm, it did add 2 to 3 tree stumps that we need to get ground out now. Originally, we agreed to 9 of them, $300 a piece, it was $2,700. I would like to get permission to add, I know we have 2, there might be 3, so I'd like to get permission to add 3 more, which would be $900 in addition to that. We had 2 pretty good sized trees. One came down on its own, one we had to take down to make safe. And I'd like to just have one more in my pocket in case we see something storm related that.
Okay.
And again, that is, the original agreement was with Chips Outdoor Service.
I'll make a motion to, do we just add that to that? Has
Just
they,
for those.
or just an additional one?
Just do it.
Hey, John beat you that time. John got a second on that.
good, good. Now, that's the same one you use for the emergency, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, it's just a total
Okay.
different side of his business.
All those in favor of adding the 2 to 3 more stumps for
Aye.
900? Aye. Okay, there we go.
Sounds a little happier now.
You got one of those in. All right.
The tree complaint, we already covered. There is, I believe you wanted me to bring up tonight or discuss, we have a culvert that we need to get replaced, by Tom Vedder's house in White Oaks. It's not that complicated of a job, I don't think. We did flush it out for the homeowner, but the bottom of it's rotten. However, the one at Indiana and North Street is still our first priority. We had all the equipment, all of the everything set up, the locates, and then this storm came through and completely pulled us off of that. So hopefully in the next week or so, we can get on that one and then start looking at starting that job to make her happy. I think she said she's talked to us a couple, 2 or 3 times in her complaint form.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't forgot about her, it's just,
So,
we gotta get there.
I'll make a motion that we get both of them done.
Yeah, we
then
will.
yeah, because that's our responsibility for those
Mhm.
things, but
I
I'll
just
let her
wanna
know
get the
that-
one that we started
Well,
first, and then as soon as we get off that, we'll jump on the next one.
okay,
I'll second that.
all right. Aye,
Aye. All those in favor, aye. There we go. John had an aye.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, we heard you.
The big sewer truck that we got off Ryan, I think he sold us a lemon, we're having troubles with it.
Glad I got it off of there.
Yeah, now that it actually gets used.
Oh,
Oh.
We had there was a fire in the wiring wiring, the accessory wiring. Scott has all of that repaired, but now we're finding that probably one of the two motors that raises the bed malfunctioned to short circuit. That truck is long, shouldn't say long, but it's out of warranty, and I'm not even for sure where it came from. John Hodge purchased that out of state.
Missouri, I think.
Yeah, I think it's, cost is gonna be on us, but we just got the one thing fixed, and we're still in the process of diagnosing and getting a price on what it's gonna be to. Good news is it still runs and drives just fine, it's just, if you try to dump it, it burns the wiring in too. So, that's
We
why I
have
got
our-
Scott.
Have our in-house mechanic.
Yep, he's working on it. And the last thing I have, I'll be here tomorrow, but then I'm taking a week and a half vacation. So basically all of next week I'll be out of town. Scott, I'll have him a to-do list, and he'll take good care of things while I'm out. That was all I had on my list. Scott, do you have anything you want discussed?
Nothing on the street department.
Do you have any questions or concerns?
I have a request.
Yes, ma'am.
Whenever you come in with a list of things, it's hard for me to jot things down and get information. If you could make like a brief like they do, and like he does, just so when I do the minutes, I have more info.
I can, I'm just not real computer savvy, but I can.
Well, that little piece of paper that you got in, you
That's
slice it up and
that's
give
my
me a
cheat sheet.
copy.
I don't know that you could understand my scribbles on there, but I'll try to type something up for
Or
you.
just copy that for me, that
Yeah.
would help.
No, I will do that from.
You had a lot of info.
John, did you have any questions or concerns for the street department? I don't know which phone to look at.
He's over here.
The only thing I got, if they could make a little effort about getting I know as the water company's issue, about getting the gravel scooped up a little bit, especially on North McGarry Street.
Yes, sir, and I did contact the water company. I did contact the water company again, a week ago today, and they assured me they was gonna start paving them cuts last week. That never happened. So, but yes, I'll have my guys run up and at least sweep up the gravel from the rocks up there.
I appreciate it, Tony.
No problem.
Okay.
Are they gonna do that on every street now? Can we find out the water company's schedule for the cuts in all of our streets?
And we're working with him, I've been working with him now about what we're wanting to apply for, because we've already,
I know,
we already planned on what
redone.
we're doing, but they canceled the community crossings for the second calling, so he knows where we're going to, hopefully next year. And he's gonna do what he has to do on them streets. But as far as this, they just picking out streets, replacing, I don't know what the answer is.
I do, they give us a schedule. I don't appreciate the hopping here, hopping there, and then through gravel and.
I understand. I
If they
really
were to
do.
fill it back with flowable fill, we wouldn't have this gravel issue
Yeah.
all the way to the top when they can dig out for paving.
Pull hairs and threaten them just to get the permits a week later, so. It's a hard situation, because we do have a good working relationship, but
Yeah.
sometimes
Okay.
maybe we're getting.
Let's
taken
go out and
advantage
sweep it
of.
all up then and pack it down again.
I think it would be good to have a continued dialogue with the Water Corporation for transparency about what each of us is doing. As Tony's pointing out, community crossings has been postponed, they've moved that back and all. And it actually gives us an opportunity to do something where our community crossings grant can improve what the Water Corporation might have otherwise had to do. So it behooves us to keep a communications on that matter and try to understand what their projects are and the timing for when they're gonna be doing them and all. But there is a need to upgrade the repair cycle so that when these cuts are made, we get the restoration in a timely way before it becomes a bigger problem, actually.
Well, what's the procedure? Do they order the blacktop to come in and do it, or do we order the blacktop and they do it for us?
As of last year, they found it, the water company found it to be cheaper to hire a contractor themselves to fill these cuts. Before we done it at the town agreed upon rate, they wanted to do it this way, and for the most part, when they done Hillside, they was pretty much on top of it, getting it patched ready for the big paving. This go around, maybe it's weather, maybe it's manpower, but they've kind of slackened on, and I've asked several times, don't cut no more till you get these fixed.
Sound like a good idea.
All I can do is ask and remind them and be a pain in the rear about, hey, are we gonna do that? Is that coming? I can't really force them to go do it.
They probably respond like to problems like we do. I mean, if they're, if someone's calling for it, wanting, or there's a problem, they probably have to go to that one. And that's how we operate a lot. We do have to do it, so.
We have a little more authority than perhaps has been used before. We do have a permitting process and a fee process, and these things just need to be negotiated. That's all.
They do come in afterwards for the
Yeah.
permits. They don't come in ahead of time. They come in after
We
they've done it.
need to get that
Yeah.
solved.
If we need to follow procedures,
I think John's trying to say something here. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, if I could say something?
Please.
I know that on my street, the gravel's been there long enough that it's got 3 inches of grass growing in it.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know why it's taking them so long, but we definitely need to sit down and have a really candid conversation with getting this repaired, plus anything in the future. You gotta, either they gotta come back to us and get them done in the proper fashion, or they gotta get somebody on the stick a lot faster.
Now, the question I have, John, is do you want me again to reach out to them, or do you want to, or do you want Mr. Lorenz to?
I
I think it would probably be a good idea for me, maybe you, Tony, go down together and say, Todd, here's what we got. And what can we do to rectify this situation and make it better in the future?
And I completely agree with that. I just need to know who's arranging that
Oh.
meeting.
He'll arrange it.
I will arrange that meeting.
Okay, thank you, sir. Just maybe not next week.
Not next week.
he's gonna be off next week.
Did you hear him?
Tom.
Not next week. Okay.
I'll call Todd tomorrow morning and see if we can meet.
Okay, and I'll be here tomorrow if we can do it tomorrow. That's great.
Okay, all right. All right, thank you.
Okay, moving on towards wastewater.
Thank you. I only have a few things to discuss tonight, a few of which we've already kind of glossed over. I had another one of our decanters go down. Early last week, I had to spend some extra hours at the plant, but luckily we were able to get Sexton Mechanical, which we had talked about, down.
The limits.
I think it was 2 days after it initially happened. So we were able to get them down. The problem was caused by limit switch kind of falling apart. We were able to get that back together. And then there's an electrical contactor on the closed side that was also faulty. So we got that replaced, got everything put back together, so that number 1 decanter is now fully back in service and operational. It's been working great all day today. Knock on wood.
All day. Working all day today.
Another thing we touched on is the whole FEMA stuff. I do have a breakdown more of what we were quoted for the number 2 decanter, which previously broke down in April. Specifically in reference to how the total quote range. It wasn't very clear as to what a rebuild is specifically the rebuild would cost us to, but I did get clarification. The rebuild of the motor is out to $5,140, as opposed to a brand new one costing almost $14,000. So that our rebuild is our best option. I don't think FEMA would appreciate spending close to $20,000.
So it would be 5,000 for the rebuild,
Yeah.
and then 11,000 for their labor, or their involvement.
Well, it's 5,000 for the rebuild, 2,200 for the material, which is, I guess that includes the
Okay.
rebuild kit itself. And then 4,591 for the labor. And that includes what they've already done
That
coming in.
gets to 11,000.
Yeah, that gets you to the total quoted price of $11,931.
That's not a separate,
Nope, that's total.
That's what I was wondering too.
So,
yeah, all right.
so I just wanted to clarify that. And then the only other thing I really had was talking about the sewer smell. I've seen the complaints about it, and I already talked about it, but I'm at the microphone now, so in case it didn't get on the recording, I do plan to dose manholes in town with small amounts of hypochlorite so I can tamp the smell down and keep the anaerobic activity down as well.
Sounds good. Getting back on top of it.
Yep, I'm not on the horse here. Any questions for me?
I don't have any. John, do you have any questions?
No, I don't.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank
I
you.
said I'd be excused tonight.
Have at
See
it.
ya.
Thank you very much.
That takes us to parks. We will be having a meeting July 16th. Last I saw around 4:30 in this building to meet with the design crew and the builders and such. We were still kind of scheduling that. There were a few conflicts of interests and back and
I
forths.
can't remember if it was 4 to 5 or 4 to 5:30.
Something in that ballpark, I believe. And so that'll be our last meeting before, I think, getting underway and breaking ground on the new project with the restrooms and pickleball court and basketball court.
You're gonna have a ribbon cutting with shovels and everything like that?
We'll discuss it at that meeting, so, I mean, that's our
Put it
next
on
step.
there. We need the,
Yeah.
we need the newspapers backing.
So, we'll get that information out as soon as
Yeah.
we have it.
He said that's when the board, the entire board could get recognition.
Yes, they
too.
could.
Mhm. That would be good. That board has
I
done a
don't
lot
know
of
if
work.
they have any silver shovels or gold shovels.
I got some shovels,
Get
some
some
spray
shovel
paint.
shovels.
We don't want to spend money on that.
Yeah.
Tell them to bring their own, it's a
DYOS. And then we have the update on the Lilly grant. Those are the big things on
Okay.
our radar, so we'll just move on. So, unless there are any questions about parks, Bobby, do you have anything to add for the cause?
I totally agree that we need the newspaper to really be involved with this now, because the things that we're doing now and what's gonna happen here for the community is gonna be a big thing, and it will involve what happens after we're done with this project.
Yeah.
Because we wanna see this continue to grow, and the people of the community need to know.
They usually have a placard hanging on the outside toilet or something like that.
Yeah.
A wall down there somewhere.
Or something.
Well, there's some
Yeah.
things that we're gonna be talking
Yeah.
about that the community can still do, where it's park benches or whatever.
Yeah,
With nameplates and such, yeah.
be great.
We
We're not
want that
done.
To be out there and to finish this up and really put a good coating on what we're doing.
Well, I think the people really deserve to know what's
Yeah.
going on down at our park.
Right.
That's our park.
Yeah, that's right.
So if the newspaper can agree to come pitch in and start helping us out, that would be good.
All right. Okay, planning and zoning.
We have a meeting coming up on the 22nd. We'll try to get good advance notice out, because that'll be a pretty extensive set of meetings and all. We've got some new concepts that are gonna be introduced and some materials we wanna digest at that point in time.
Redevelopment.
We got our August meeting coming up. It'll be the next major one.
July 22nd for the parks.
Right.
Planning and zoning,
Planning and zoning,
that's what I got, yeah.
Redevelopment?
Again, in August, our next meeting on that one.
Oh. Fire territory, John?
Our
Hunter?
meeting is next Monday,
Okay.
We also have a,
and, say it again,
go ahead.
we've got our meeting next Monday. Chris has been working on some budget issues. I know Cheryl had mentioned the other day that we're gonna really have to watch really close, because it's gonna be
Their
pretty
budget.
tight.
Do what?
Fire territories.
Our territory budget.
Hunter, correct me if I'm wrong, did they decide to hire the consulting firm for the tax issue?
Yes, so, we are having a work session on Wednesday with,
Baker Tilly.
Baker Tilly, thank you.
Okay, yeah.
Name was slipping my mind. At 4:30, we'll be sitting down to discuss the new tax law, what our options are based on population and some other factors to see if,
You think you'll need an engagement letter for them, or how are you gonna
Their board is
show
doing
them?
it.
Have they?
Yeah, I mean, their board will do it. They have an attorney.
They do?
that-
Okay.
yeah,
Good.
yeah, so our attorney's already handling the
Yes.
majority of.
They're not inexpensive.
No, absolutely not. But yeah, essentially, it's just a preliminary discussion to see what our options are
Okay.
moving forward.
Yeah, so, that's all I had for Carter.
Okay, thank you. Attorney's notes?
So, we were talking about Community Crossroads, and of course, that schedule has moved on. But not only has the schedule moved on, there are new requirements that are now being set up. Some of our phaser ratings that we had will need to be readjusted potentially, and new areas will have to be rated for future projects that will be now included in community crossings. They're actually somewhat expanding what community crossings grants can be used for, which is the good news.
Yeah, it is.
So, I think that that's an important factor here. I think, Tony, you may have to have some more upgraded training, I guess, in your area, right?
3 of the guys already did the new
Yeah.
training that takes effect in 2026.
Did
So-
they include curbs and other
Yes.
things in that now?
Yeah,
Okay.
and one of the other areas was the
Needed here.
need for signage in low flood areas and all. I'm not sure that we have anything that qualifies there, but was gonna check with you to see.
I read through your email and I couldn't think of
I
any
don't-
place
It would have to
where.
be done by Cooper Park
Well,
if there is.
the way I understood that was there, like maybe, kind of like out Rattlesnake where it's a dry creek bed until
I
it rains.
understood it really because you had an existing thoroughfare that was regularly used, and you would have the potential of flood water coming across. I didn't see it as just simply low-lying area that would flood, but we'll need to look at that one more time to make sure we have that.
County has the road beside the new housing development that floods.
Well, we'll need to
That's
look at
true,
that
too.
situation too, but they're supposed to have elevations that would not be in that category, you would believe.
Okay.
Okay, that was one thing. We have 2 parcels of property we're trying to work on with some major rehabilitations and all. The Hasselberg case is set for bench trial on the 4th of August, so we'll have an answer on that. We've discovered the true identity of the one other property ownership, that's the corporation from out of state and all. It may very well be that we only can do a notice to them, and that they are not in compliance, and follow that up with the rehabilitation, which we have to pay for, and then sue to recover those monies and all, but that is on the burner as well.
And that would be like a lien possibly,
Yes,
then you could
yes.
put a lien on it.
Yep.
Okay.
Now,
John might have something on that.
yeah,
John?
No, I don't have anything.
Oh, okay, I just
Okay.
heard you.
the other thing is that we are gonna have, in our second meeting, all these tax abatements, compliance forms come back again.
Okay.
We're sending out the notices to the appropriate agencies so they can report and all. I want to again mention the importance of the filing of the documents, the compliance forms on a timely basis, our recovery of those compliance forms, and our having a hearing and determination if they are adequate or not within 45 days. If we don't get those things done within that time frame, we lose control over this process. So I want to reemphasize the need to have that time cycle work and all. And the ones coming in, it may very well be that there is a inadequacy of the compliance and all, but the explanations may be adequate to understand what they're going to do. But the emphasis would be to try to have those companies explain what they are going to do in the ensuing years of the tax abatement to either catch up or keep that into a mold that is adequate and all. In some of these compliance forms, you'll find that the numbers are statistically correct, but the intention of where things were gonna go has been altered from the original plan. So we need to keep that in
I
mind.
think it's important that they turn them into the town,
Oh, we got to, yeah,
Period.
yeah.
however they do it. By the 15th of May, we have to have this.
We've reemphasized these things several times, so we will continue doing that.
The other thing is we need some type of coordination to get that missed payment from Boston Scientific
Right.
a year ago, in writing,
Yes.
and get it.
And again, we've got to coordinate that with the county treasurer's office, and we'll be working on that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I said this before, but I'm gonna say it again, instead of turning them into me, I want them
Okay.
turned into the attorney's office, because
agree.
to me, it's just a pile of paper that
Yeah.
I get down.
But then you just
And then
hand
if
over there,
if
yeah.
something's missing, I think I
Yeah.
lost it or
Yeah.
something,
Mhm,
so.
mhm.
Things that
Tiffany's
are
a
lost.
pretty good
She is, so I'd
person
rather it go.
to monitor that
first.
and
Yeah, that
She
makes
knows
put it
what
down.
she's receiving, I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Someday gonna find that file with all the socks that are missing. Right. Okay. I think that's all that I had here. Want to thank everybody for their participation last week. I thought that was a good meeting and
Yeah.
opportunity
too.
for us to discuss things and all, okay? I think we're caught up then. Thank you.
We do need some meetings to evaluate whether we're keeping the properties.
Yes.
Or we're gonna
We
sell.
need to keep on going forward.
Yeah, keep on going.
John, do you have any old business?
No, I do not.
Okay. Mike, do you have any old
Nope.
business? Cheryl? I was asked by Andrea over at the Tivoli, did we already, and I looked at the previous minutes, but I didn't know if, I couldn't remember. The street dance form,
Yes, it was approved, I think.
we already approved that one? Okay, she just hadn't heard, so I can let her know that.
Okay. Trying to remember who
for the
asked
street
it.
We'll have to notify the police for the barricades and stuff.
Okay, so I told her I'd ask, so I asked. Have we heard back anything on Mr. Morgan's sewer issue? The one where he had a plumber and then it wound up being the town issue? and then-
I'll be sending you some notes from the insurance company.
Okay, excellent.
Okay.
Good.
I was also asked to check on that, so
I'll
doing my due
check on
diligence.
that event form.
Okay.
Send it out again if they haven't got it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just
she
I
didn't
recall-
know,
yeah,
so,
I recall it being
yeah.
approved.
all right, and then, Tony, I know you have been swamped, but the speed sign, that could get moved somewhere on Hillside, the radar thing where it projects people's sign.
I can, yeah, that's no problem. Normally, I'll just run this by you. Normally what we do is when school starts
Mhm.
or close to it, we'll put it up on Hillside for 3-4 weeks.
Okay,
If you wanna wait till then, if you wanna move before then, that's no problem.
if that's the normal thing and if you think that's an effective
That's just
plan,
kinda what we try to do to point out, hey, now there's kids here.
I will
so-
defer to your judgment on that. I just knew the storm hit and we had talked about it, I think, at the meeting right before the storm. And
Well,
so,
like I
just
said,
double checking on that.
That's what I kinda
I
like
think
to
it was-
do, but if you wanna move before then, we can.
No,
Can
I trust your judgment on that.
I think when we brought it up before, it was to control the speed on.
Yes, John?
I do have one thing, new business.
Okay, we move on to new business. That was my list.
Okay. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. And this is directed to Chief Fitzsimmons. Are you listening, Terry?
Yes, sir.
Better move up here.
Okay.
He
Got
can't
a
hear
phone
you.
call from Donald Kivitz. I think we all know who that is.
I meant to get with you on this too.
And
cutting out, John.
I can explain. Noise, yeah.
Okay. Well, we don't.
And anyway, apparently it took a long time, or nobody, actually, I don't remember which.
Nobody ever answered,
Is
nobody
there
ever
something that we can do
responded.
about changing, who answers the phone, or how it gets transferred to whoever's on duty?
I'll add to it, he said he did call dispatch like 3 or 4 times,
Yeah.
so.
Okay, I think I got the gist of that, John. You were kind of broken up. Concerning the firework complaints by Mr. Kivett, they're all valid. And the way it is now is if we don't answer the phone, it automatically rings into dispatch. They're also given the number. So he had the opportunity to talk to them. I will look into that to see if there is some kind of disconnect, because I know there is a problem with our phone answering for the specific officers. I was gonna look into that anyway, and I'll talk to Mr. Kivett. He and I have really good rapport. I'll talk to him tomorrow morning, see if he's got any further concerns, and then I'll jump on that. Is that okay?
That sounds great, Terry.
All righty.
Thank you very much.
Another incident report, our office had called over for you a couple of times, and we didn't get any answer at the office number for the department. No,
Well, I guess it's
We
not
never
working
do.
then,
We
so
never
I
do.
will
there's
definitely.
something
Yeah.
technically out of whack.
We can contact the Endeavor and have them come in and maybe talk to you about how you want it to work in case it's not working.
I will keep you abreast of that.
And
when I
yes,
do
Mr.
that.
Kivett really wants to talk to you.
All right.
He misses you.
Maybe if nobody answers, it can ring to your home.
No, if nobody answers it, it's gonna ring to Cheryl's home.
Good luck. I don't answer my phone.
Perfect.
I don't even know where it is half the time.
There you go.
It's in the seat cushion someplace.
Any other new business?
I got one item here we
Oh.
can talk about.
Thank you, Drew.
That's okay. This is the one that was brought up here, I think last week here. You had copies of it. That's the contract amendments, or I don't have 3 copies, but I think you each had one last time. But this is the $0 contract amendment.
Yeah.
The geotechnical work was not going to be as extensive by eliminating the new SBR tanks and the sludge holding tanks. And with that, we found out there's land that was going to need to be acquired for the project. There's 5 easements, one for BVP at the outfall at the wastewater treatment plant, and 3 near the Hart Street lift station. So this contract would include switching out geotech work for land acquisition, and in the meantime, we found out about RD. We had the flood. We noted that we took pictures of the chlorine contact tank, noted all the issues that was noted, and RD had mentioned that there's a potential grant opportunity. There's additional requirements for submitting for RD, of course, yes. So this contract is a $0 amendment, but allows us to proceed with a different work task.
Do you need this one signed today?
Yes, we would need.
Okay. So will I sign in
And John?
John's stead?
You sign and then John can,
Okay.
we can send a copy.
All right.
of
Yeah,
all
you can
the
just
signatures.
email me a copy.
When John
So-
comes,
Was
You
he
can
back
use
in
mine,
town?
yeah.
John, sorry, your name's spelled wrong, I just got that, it's John. I'll get that changed and send it over to Cheryl,
And then,
as long as
You guys wanna sign?
Okay, so should we make a motion on this then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I will make a motion to accept the $0 order change on task order number 2024-03 and 2024-04. Do I have a second?
second,
All those in favor? Aye?
aye?
All right.
So
Thank you. And
unfortunately,
Go ahead, go.
this all, if you you want all the signatures on one copy, you'll have to wait until John gets back, or
Okay,
or do you wanna take it with 2 signatures back and then I'll get?
Oh, I mean, I just have it set up for, town council president and then,
so
Oh,
John will just do
okay,
it?
Clerk.
okay.
Yeah,
Let
Okay.
John go ahead and do it and all when he gets right back and all.
yeah.
Okay, that's easy enough.
And then, one more,
Oh, okay, he says he can sign it
That's
tonight.
fine, tonight or tomorrow, I'll mail it tomorrow, I'll
You
mail
need-
it tonight.
Either of these
Yeah, if you're
back.
gonna let me hold on to the official
Yeah.
copy then.
I'll change your name and
Yeah, you can
I'll
send
swap it out and then, yeah, I'll email it to you both. And one more item, we're trying to get the geotech scheduled to be out there, at the outfall location at the wastewater treatment plant on BBP. And we had discussed, in order to proceed, right now we're authorized for up to $200,000 for preliminary design. We're going to be exceeding that with the geotechnical work. We've talked about, some additional funds, I think maybe up to $100,000 to keep the project moving forward and allow the geotech to, start his work. Previously, we have an order on the contract that says we're not authorized to proceed until contract exceeds the 200,000, but it puts a stop order after that amount. So I was gonna see if there was a way to allow us to proceed.
That's something that you brought up at that retreat,
Yes,
that's what I thought.
Yes.
And I'm thinking,
I
you
think-
couldn't vote on it, but you
Mm-hmm.
kind of thought that the project has to keep going.
Yeah.
Right.
We talked about it.
What else are we gonna
set
do?
up, another 100,000 or
Yes.
200,000?
100,000, is that?
that would,
what we're asking?
I mean, whatever you guys want to do, but that would be
Be
necessary to
coming out
get
of the
geotech
fund that
on.
Cheryl
Yeah.
selects, edit
Economic
funds,
development, okay.
economic development.
So what he needs really is a vote on it now, I guess.
Okay.
So you have to make the.
Right, no, that's fine, I was just listening.
It comes out of economic development, and what is it for?
For the, phase 1 wastewater improvements
Okay.
project.
Economic development, how's that
Okay, well, I will make a motion
fit?
to release up to an additional $100,000 for the geotech work on the Phase 1 wastewater project.
It's wastewater, which is separate from the town.
Right.
What was that, John?
I'll second it.
Okay,
And just real quick, to be clear, it won't be just for geotech work, it'll be for like, whatever the 100,000 is, the highest priority items, which would be land acquisition as well, so.
That's at
Okay.
our discretion.
Right, and that's what I recommended, I didn't want to take it out of there.
Okay.
I mean, we're in the
We
first
are
We're gonna
phase.
reimburse it
that
when we,
Yeah.
geotech work will result in a lower dollar for acquisition than what we might otherwise have.
we have a second with John.
okay,
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It does include water and sewer in
Okay.
the description of the economic
Thank you.
development funds. what
Thank
it's
you.
used for.
Okay,
I did look
The
at it.
Broadband Economic Development Agreement, is that available electronically? I don't believe
Yeah.
I got
it was
this
emailed to all of
information.
us, but you were not included on that email, that
Can
was
you-
just my own printout.
Could you send me a copy? Yeah.
Sure.
Did you give me one?
You were on the email, I think.
Okay, and I didn't have a chance to look at
Did-
it to see.
That's mine, so you have my highlighting, I don't think I made any annoying
I
notes
made a
on it, but-
partial copy. I
Okay,
didn't
that-
make-
that should be the whole
Email it
thing.
to me again, because I
Okay.
was doing other things last week.
We'll do acceptance of claims and adjournment.
Okay.
Oh, excuse me, Scott.
Have we discussed bonuses yet this year?
Oh my God, that was on my note and I got distracted. So in last, at least as long as I've been around, we have seen bonuses for town employees in the summer, especially with the storms and the work.
I'll explain where those came from.
Yeah.
The ARPA funds, which we don't have anymore. They
Okay.
weren't normal, they weren't out of our budget.
Okay, so that's not,
We do give a bonus in the end of November and December for longevity.
Okay.
normally. But I mean, if you guys, I just have to, I think economic development or someplace that has money is someplace that could take a chunk.
I know edit funds has plenty of money, but can it be used for that?
Right. It can't be used for that.
It cannot.
And it
It
can.
cannot, I agree with that. And I don't know of any fund, right now I don't know of a fund that can be used. I could change our budget.
okay. Well,
Let's table it and have Cheryl look
can
into it.
you look into that for us,
Okay,
please?
yeah.
And
I am sorry, that was on my notes and I just got distracted.
try to match
I,
what-
thank you for reminding me.
Twenty-fifth of July.
Try to match what.
Right, yeah.
It depends on
thank you for contacting me about that, and I do apologize for forgetting tonight. So you'll look into that, and we'll see what we can do.
Yes,
Okay,
where it can come from.
great. Okay. Anything else? Sorry, that was a little rough. I don't normally run the meetings here. Without that, we'll move to adjournment and acceptance of claims.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn or claims?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All right. John, do you want to second that one? Oh, claims first.
Yes.
All right.
Oh, we don't need to pay any bills?
John's shouting at us here.
This we had already paid.
I seen the meeting package from Cheryl, I'm good.
Okay.
So he approves. So if you guys looked at it, you can just. forward
I've
it.
already seen them.
Yeah, I've already seen them.
You don't have any questions?
I had a question last month.
Yeah, but I can't remember what it was. I did look at it.
It was about number and there was that wasn't.
I see it all the time because it's the total.
Well,
You can see it all the time, but it's any time that we go and check.
Thank you.
This year we gotta take it easy. This year we're gonna take it easy.
Check. This is the television. You'd have to look at the e copies. It's just because you write one check, so that's the dollar amount of the check. But it gets divided into each one. If you look at another one, it'll say 1,749. It'll say the same thing. But it's just, you have to look at this column
Okay.
and see there it is there.
But I was curious, most of these, and that,
Yes, but you just put like.
Richard, I just forwarded you the email. I think it's coming from my personal email, so it'll come from esmccallop@gmail.